For half a decade, Fortnite has cycled between day and night, but soon they'll become one with a world-ending eclipse. As we learn more about this danger in the sky, we are quickly realizing this is the finale event of Chapter 4 and something is coming to destroy us. With less than a few months until the island gets obliterated, this is the Fortnite storyline explained. This all started thanks to a mysterious jungle biome that was hiding under the island for months. After relentless earthquakes, the ground finally split apart, revealing an ancient reality with advanced technology. Hunters like Relic were able to search the island, discovering a crush tank in the ruins. Interested, he opened it up, discovering someone inside. As he pulls her from the wreckage, we learn that Dr. Sloan is alive. Thanks to him, she is saved and ready to walk away from her previous life in the Imagined Order. But Sloan is fascinated by this jungle, dedicated to learning its secrets. Something happened to the people who lived here. It's as if they vanished one day, and she has to get to the bottom of it. These ruins belong to a society that is insanely old. She can't even date the temples, but the strangest part of this ancient kingdom is the destroyed machine. It looks like a telescope, but it was powered by refined kinetic ore. That kind of power isn't needed unless they were studying other realities. Sloan's theory is that the apparatus was a stellar projector that could see far into the future and predict what's happening. In real life, we could look at stars from millions of years ago, but the ancients found a way to look forward. In fact, they might have seen their own destruction right before it happened. In order to continue studying the apparatus, Sloan needs help, so she joins forces with a group known as the Explorers. Now, with the help of Trace, Era, and Relic, her research finally begins. In the temple walls, she discovers carvings from the ancients. They drew their final moments showing the apparatus, which saw something before it came to the island and destroyed them. By now, you might think this drawing looks familiar, and you'd be right. There's even more similarities around the temple, from runes on the walls to a special object hidden in the jungle, a relic known as the Chalice of Cubetastrophe. With all these clues laid out in front of her, Sloan is desperate to rebuild the apparatus. As she discovers, the key to unlocking the future is by looking into the past. It all starts with the glyphs, these messages left by the ancients. There are instructions on how to use the apparatus, along with an obvious warning at the end. Following these carvings, the explorers rebuild the telescope. Now they need to power it, searching for kinetic ore, which mysteriously resembles these panels in the bridge. Yeah, pretty interesting. Everything is ready to go. The apparatus is aligned and powered. It is time to learn the ancient secrets. So Sloan powers it on, projecting a constellation into the sky. But there's a problem.
Energy debris from the Riftgate collapse has complicated my long-range cosmic scans.
It sounds bad, but there's one signal that sticks out, and she recognizes it.
It's not a natural cosmic phenomenon, and it's coming our way with intent. There's no way the people who left this place could have known about this eons ago. Unless it's happened before.
When that jungle collapsed months ago, we had no idea how important it would become. Something happened to these ancients which caused them to be wiped off the map, leaving their home abandoned and in ruins. It must have been so devastating that they left behind warnings in case it ever happened again. Now we are here picking up the pieces, facing a threat that eliminated even the smartest visionaries from millions of years ago. If we don't learn from their mistakes, the same will happen to us. That's why the apparatus is the key to everything, and once you look through it, it's projecting an eclipse. As you look into the sky, you'll see hundreds of constellations, and in the center, the eclipse is approaching. According to Sloan, this isn't what it looks like. Usually, these are formed when one thing blocks another from view, like the moon and the sun. But no one has said these are planets or stars. So what actually is the eclipse, and why has Sloan called it unnatural? For that, we need to leave the jungle and head over to the Citadel. Here, the Oathbound have been maintaining their kingdom after the Riftgate collapsed. Originally, they tried to open a portal across realities using refined kinetic ore. The gate was built by Stellan, but secretly planned by an unknown character known only as the Shapeless Man. This man haunted Stellan's dreams, threatening him into building the gate. He was yearning to return and always imagined a world of perfect order. In fact, this man was so hell-bent on building the Riftgate, he didn't care if it split the island in two. All of these hints pointed straight to one person, Geno, the founder of the Imagined Order and the original version of the Ageless. Since he left the Oathbound to create the IO, they had been stuck in the medieval ages. But after a hard-fought battle against the Seven, the Imagined Order were destroyed and Geno was killed. As he slowly puts himself back together, he realizes there's nothing left to return to. All of his precious work is gone, or so he thought. The Oathbound, his original reality, is ready to be manipulated, leading to the Riftgate that eventually collapsed from power. While it didn't split the island in two, there were huge consequences as evil beings latched onto the portal and came through. Creatures like Triarch Nox have been watching us ever since, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Since the plan failed, we haven't seen much of the Oathbound until now. Last week, two new faces appeared, Princess Lexa and Prince Orin. While they are royalty, Lexa is sick of waiting for a grand destiny to find her and has decided to track it down herself. It looks like it tracked her down first, because in their loading screen of Royal Destiny, Lexa and Ornn are defending their castle from a silhouetted figure. Darkness draws near, but is it a friend or a foe? Let's find out. If you compare this to the leak survey skins, this is the best match. It's a creepy floating figure with dark energy, so if anyone looks like a villain in Chapter 4, it's this thing. Now, it does have similarities with Geno. First of all, the hairstyle and the circle on their chest. It could have been brought here by the Rift Gate, but this probably isn't the Shapeless Man. It has way more of a chance of being connected to the eclipse and the evil that's coming to the island. And that is all thanks to Triarch Nox, a dark creature that has been waiting in the shadows. He took advantage of the chaos when the Rift Gate collapsed, which brought multiple realities to the island. The plan was to make them fight each other, wage war for territory, so that he could swoop in and take control for himself. The plan failed. He didn't realize that the syndicates would team up and learn about his existence. But we're not focused on his actions right now, it is all about his name. Triarch means 3 rulers, and Nox, well, that's Latin for darkness. At first we took this literally, meaning there were 3 rulers of darkness, but thanks to a bombshell that appeared this week, everything has changed the way we look at this. If you talk to Erez Nox, she knows you're hiding from Triarch Aurora, but even you cannot stop the dawn. Of course, Aurora means dawn in Latin, so there are 3 rulers, but not of the same thing. What happens when night and day cross paths? An eclipse. By now, you're probably starting to realize what the apparatus has been foreshadowing this entire time, and it's not good. To terrify us even more, a group of content creators have been receiving packages from Epic Games. Pretty simple, a framed artwork of the eclipse, except this is dark red, a blood moon, and alongside it they left a note. Thank you for the addition to my collection, which is signed by 2 names depending on the language, Koji Datora or Kato Thorn. Fortnite has a reputation for teasing Battle Pass skins in these packages, and they're probably the names of Season 4 outfits. But the idea of a collection is interesting. Kato Thorn has taken items from streamers' houses and replaced it with the Eclipse picture, keeping their belongings for his collection. Now let's tie this back to what's happening in Fortnite right now. Whoever Kato Thorn is, they're also taking items from Turk and Riptide. They were recently caught trying to sell the Coral Buddies to a wealthy collector. One of the strangest mysteries in Fortnite right now, and we're still trying to understand where he came from or what he wants. This collection is worrying, but Kato Thorn is the least of our problems when the eclipse is right around the corner. We've shown you all the evidence she's gathered, runes, a chalice, and an old signal that's heading straight for us within 10. After leaving the Imagined Order, Sloan has found herself with no allies left. There's barely anyone to trust except for one person.
You're the last one I want to call in on this. You know me too well, for one. You'll be infuriating. But you're the only one I trust to handle this. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need your help. Let's hope your aim hasn't improved.
Throughout Chapter 4, there's been a reason for the lack of main characters. The 7 are trapped in Chrome, the Paradigm has been missing since Zero Fusion, but it leaves one person that's been on our minds since the beginning. Someone who knows Sloan well, but can be trusted, a man who survived Fracture and has our best chance of survival, John Jones. After months of waiting, we might finally get his return in Season 4 so he could lead us into the battle against the Eclipse, saving us from the Ancient's fate all those years ago. All of this has been culminating towards one thing, an evil force that has threatened reality time and time again. They are returning for the last season of Chapter 4, ready to face the island and destroy everything. It is the last reality. They've lost the Cube Queen, the Herald, the Nothing, but there's always been a much larger threat, the Cradle. We got a glimpse of this in Chapter 2 and it was terrifying, but thankfully we closed the portal before it could wipe us out. If you thought the motherships were huge, they're like ants compared to the true size of the Cradle, and it is definitely large enough to eclipse the sun. Judging from all the evidence, we could come up with a powerful theory that explains everything about the Ancients, the Eclipse, and what's gonna happen to us in just a matter of weeks. We know the last reality abducts planets and leaves nothing behind. They tried to do it to us before Operation Skyfire. They have been doing this for countless years, and eons ago, it looks like the Ancients were in the path of the Cradle's destruction. It conquered their home, abducting them within seconds, explaining how they all just vanished. With no one left, the society fell into ruin. Only pieces of the destruction were left behind, like the Cube Chalice or the apparatus. The Ancients were scientists, visionaries, and the last reality could use technology like that, so they abducted them. Kinda like how they took the Chimera to be their army on the ground. My opinion, I think the answer's been right in front of us the whole time. I think the Ancients are the Cubes. This was their original homeworld. Temples are covered in runes, early versions of the Cube language, and we have known for years that cubes are corrupted by the last reality's energy. Once we free them, like we did in Operation Skyfire, they turn blue and sentient. Clearly their technology's advanced, such as Blevin, who protected us from the motherships in the end event. again. It is entirely possible that the Ancients were just some unfortunate reality that got destroyed, and this was all just to tease the Cradle's return. But I think it's more than that. Once the eclipse happens in a couple weeks, it will kickstart the last days of Chapter 4. The stakes have never been higher, and we have never been closer to finally solving Fortnite's storyline. Will John Jones help us protect reality? Is the Shapeless Man preparing his return? Or will history repeat itself and everyone on the island is doomed? Find out next time on Top 5 Gaming.